Hi everyone, I want to welcome you today to another class. This one is on armatures. So what is an armature? An armature is just a structure of some type that supports flowers and foliages. That's all it is. So it can be made out of so many different things, from branches to decorative wires to just, we're going to be using florist wire today. The difference that we're making is that this one is a mechanical armature, so that means that it's not meant to show, so we want to cover that up. You can do them out of decorative wire and all different things that can show, but I want to show you how this is done. One of the most popular ones that we've been seeing, a lot of chicken wire creating armatures, which is great. This one happens to be done in just a semicircle, and this is probably the most popular that we've been seeing, is this particular shape. It's kind of making your own chicken wire, only done with just a straight wires that you fold and bend. With this particular one, I wanted to create a little bit more dimension, so I have some alternatives to this that I like, and it's basically taking that same structure and then doing it round so that it creates dimension. Now you have space where you can add to and below to create that dimension. But also I wanted to add just a little bit of a horizontal effect to this. So this is the structure that I'll be showing you how to make, and it just gives us dimension overall. So basically what you start with are 12, and that's a pretty good. You could use 14 if you wanted to, but I like, for this one, I like to use using 12 18 gauge wires, and I'm just going to use a floral tape and just tape this in, because I don't want just just wire showing. I want to show something that's a little bit more intent of covering. So I just cover it with just floral tape. You can use any color. I've got the light green. This happens to be the regular green. You can use any color that you want that you think would blend into the design. So I have 11 more of these, so I have 12 total. And I want to create my handle now. So I'm just going to take my floral tape and tape all of these together. So we're going to go all the way down. And again, this is going to end up being the handle that supports your armature. And you're going to just incorporate your flower stems with this. So making sure that it's all nice and even. And the next thing that you want to do is just to fold all of these down. So I'm going to fold all down. I want 4 for each side, all but 4. So there's 3 groupings of 4. So by taking each one down, and I'm going to leave 4 more up. So we're going to start simply by taking these 4 wires, and I'm going to take my 2 fingers, and I'm just going to twist this around my 2 fingers 3 times. So I have a little bit of a semicircle that's right there, and then take my next 2 and twist 3 times. So everything is done in a pattern. Everything is symmetrical. Take my next 2 fingers, take the center 2, and twist those together. So you're always doing 2 together and then twists 3 times. 2 fingers, 3 twists. 2 fingers, 3 twists. And you do this all the way down till you get to the very end. 2 fingers, 3 twists, and then to the end where you've got just a little bit of wire left for 1. And on the opposite side, 2, 3. Put those together and then twist these last grouping together. Now you want to kind of, since this is mechanical, you don't have to hide your wires completely, but you just want to make sure they're not going to catch, so you can bend those in a little bit so that they're not going to catch on anything. So what I've done to one side now, and just take your wire and bend it around to make it look uniform, is I have one side completely finished. So I'm going to do it to the opposite side. Don't poke your eyes out with the wire. Again, simple and fast. You start with 2, twist 1, 2, 3, go to the opposite side, twist. I like using my fingers as a gauge so that they're about the same size. They don't have to be, since this is a mechanical and it doesn't have to be really, really pretty, but at least gives me a consistency of a pattern that goes all the way through. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, to the center. And I always like to twist the same direction. So I'm going left over right. You can do whatever you want as long as you're doing it the same way. That's repetitiveness, that's repetition in your design work. Everything should be done properly each and every time. And I'm going to come back, fold this one together, 2, 3. I've got a couple ends on this one. and I'm just going to fold those back in and make those dissolve. So now I've got two branches that come up to create my horizontal line. So my horizontal support with my armature that we're going to create, our hand tied, when we're adding that too. So that could go straight out if you wanted to. It actually could curve up if you wanted it to. It just depends on the design that you want to create when you're finished. So you want to take your top two now, and I'm going to take 2 fingers, 1, 2, 3. So I've started my top and do the same thing with the other side. 1, 2, 3. Line those up and then come across and do the same thing with this side. 1, 2, 3. And go the same way with the other. Get these guys to stand up. There we go. Face that way for me. And it's all about manipulation, and that's the great thing about wire is that you can do that. 1, 2, 3. And just continue that down. 1, 2, 3. And 1, 2, 3, leaving a little bit of a wire down to that very end. Get that manipulated and wire it down to the base. And then I have a dimension. So that allows me then to build my design so it's not going to be quite so flat. I don't have to really pay attention to that with my flowers because I'm building that dimension in my structure. So same type of thing, 1, 2, 3. Finish it off, 1, 2, 3. Get used to counting really well. And then coming down and just wiring that back in. There again, just making those pointed of the wires just to dissolve back into the design. And that you've got that security. So I'm just going to twist and twist. Make that stand out. Give me some support. Give me some dimension. And then I have my base structure. Now what I did with this particular one was just basically take this and just fold it all the way down underneath and wire it all together to give me a dimension here. But whether you want flat, whether you want something that's a little bit more rounded, or whether you want something that's a little bit more elliptical, you can do that. I'm going to just show you then a design that's complete. The structure you can see is inside and it blends right in with the flowers, but then it gives you such a great looking hand-tied design.